I was just, both sides, you're talking about both sides, and that was, we were talking about this, that these terms, I was thinking along terms of both sides of it. I had dignity and respect and trust, but respect, it's they have to have a sense of self-respect, because they respect themselves so much that they will do the right thing, and they'll do it for the right reason. And the same with dignity. They have the dignity that they will not act below their, what's beneath them. They won't do something that's beneath their dignity. At the same time, they must learn to appreciate that the other person has to be treated with dignity, and that the other person demands a certain amount of respect as a human being. So those terms were on both sides to me, and that was one of the criteria of choosing the ones, deciding which ones to choose, because they had to apply to both self perception and then perception of the other person. That's mine.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
What's going on too when it comes to the leadership who's talking about compassion and who's talking about respect? There's that divide between the bad guys and the police. Helps with mental health and the police and all these things. And you have these guys that are just working the streets and doing all that are having the attitudes of entitlement, and it's not fair. And, okay, the leadership, it seems to me, they're taking a lot of steps to kind of change this. Where is it stopping? Why isn't it flowing down?
It's right here. Great question. Sergeants and lieutenants are so new. They have no business experience. They have no leadership experience. Why? Because nobody wants to be a police officer anymore. So they're taking very young officers and promoting them to do what? Be a sergeant. You're a leader now. I know you haven't led anybody. You haven't made any decisions that are worthwhile, solved any problems that were big, and you darn sure haven't built any relationships. So what happens is, and in the book we talk about what happened in Memphis. And for those who don't know what happened in Memphis, Tyre Nichols, 5 Memphis police officers woke up on one day. They were part of a team called the Scorpion Team. It was positioned to be an elite team of police officers, 50 of them, to go out and do special missions within tough parts of the city of Memphis. Dan and I write in the book, and here's to answer your question, Susie. When I was an airborne ranger, I felt pride. Pride was a great emotion for me. Dad, look what I've done. I've done something good. That's pride. But here's what happens. Pride turns into arrogance when uncoached. And guess what arrogance turns into? Hubris. I'm above the law. I can wear a body camera, go with 4 of my colleagues, with the idea that this young man right here, not going to live. And in the book it says, tragically killed. So pride can turn into arrogance, and uncoached can turn into hubris, and guess what? I start to feel what? Above the law. So what's happening is, at the middle line, the supervised level, they're not being coached. And so what's happening is, some sergeants are like, I don't want to make anybody mad because they'll quit, and now I got to work weekends. They're going to quit, now I've got to go back and hire, and there are not a lot of people to hire. So some officers will be like this. We're lowering the bar. What I say is, like, raise the floor. You say lower the bar. Raise the floor. You get better. And so that's what's happening. The middle management is struggling because they're so new, so uneducated, and it's so tough for them to just do what? Keep officers going. And so Dan writes in his book, there's a big difference between serving and sacrifice. I joined to serve. I love giving. Protect and serve. That fills my soul. So few officers are